Hello and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. It's been a while for me, maybe not for you since you're just turning this on right now, but I haven't made a review for a while and I'm going to get back into it. I've got a whole series of beers from a single brewery that I'm going to look at, I think 9 or 10 perhaps. The brewery is called Ise Kadoya, and they are located in Mie Prefecture, which is in central Japan, and it is the kind of an offshoot of a sake brewery, which opened in 1575, so they have been around for a while brewing sake, and they opened as a craft beer brewery in 1997 with some success. It was kind of helmed by I think it still is, by a man named Suzuki, who got a PhD in some form of biology. I don't know exactly which, but he studied yeast, which is of course good for a brewer. And they are located again in Ise City in Mie Prefecture, which is a very famous city. Kind of traditional city, and it's host to the Ise Grand Shrine, one of the most important Shinto shrines in Japan. And they later hired a brewer named Deguchi, who is quite good, and an assistant who used to work at, I'm sorry, no, an assistant left there, that's right, Deguchi was the brewer. And so they have a restaurant there called Byakura, and their main brewery is now called the Shimono Brewery. They built this new brewery in 2018, and they have restaurants at the Naiku Mai Shrine and Geku Mai Shrine. There are actually two shrines, the inner one and the outer one, and they have a shop at their Byakura restaurant where you can pick up beers there. They have also a couple of restaurants in Tokyo, one in Shinjuku and one in Yaesu, where you can get a number of taps. Ise Kadoya makes a lot of beers. I think I'm pretty safe in saying that they make more varieties than any other brewer in Japan, craft beer brewer. It's really kind of hard to keep up with them, and many of them, of course, are limited or seasonal beers, one-offs, and they do have kind of a set line, a regular line as well. I have a playlist of Ise Kadoya beers, so you can check that out. Please do variety, and I'll add these beers to that. Now, this is an introduction, of course. If you have, you can skip ahead if you want to see the reviews of the beers. I'm going to look at some of their what we call omiyage beers, souvenir beers, which are sold in and around the Ise Shrine area for tourists, and then some of their newer kind of one-off beers, kind of interesting, unusual beers that they make. Okay, so we're going to begin with one of the beers from Ise Kadoya now. All right, and here is a beer from Ise Kadoya, and it is this one. It has an interesting name. It is called Ise Kadoya Junbaku Ginjo IPA, and Ginjo, of course, is a sake term referring to the quality, the level of the sake. And this beer actually uses sake yeast, as you can see right here. You can't see right there. I guess the light is too strong. Sake yeast in it. It's an IPA, and I think it would be classified as a hazy IPA. They have done some late hopping and tried to produce it in the hazy style. And it is 7% alcohol and 35 international bittering units. On RateBeer, it has only one rating, and that is at 3.7. And on Untappd, I checked today, there were 81 ratings, and the average of 3.84. So pretty reasonably decent ratings. This is a collaboration with the Mie Prefectural Industrial Research Institute, and they use something called MK3 yeast for this, and apparently they claim that this produces a very high level of ethyl copperate, which gives a nice estery aroma. So I think we have to call this a hybrid IPA. It's hybrid of sake and IPA beer too. I bought this in Mie at a shop near the Inner Shrine, and the Inner Shrine there are two shrines in Ise Grand Shrine, and this is the Inner Shrine shop, and I paid 792 yen for this, so a little pricey. That would be maybe around $6.50 or so, $7 or so. So should we give this one a go? Again, it's called Ise Kadoya Junbaku Ginjo IPA. I'm not much of a sake drinker. I can have it occasionally, but I'm certainly not a connoisseur of sake at all. Some friends of mine are, and but for me, I don't really taste so much of the differences in it. Different varieties of sake. I can smell this already. Oh my, oh my. Oh, wow. So the drink by date on this is February 25th, and that's over a month away. The ingredients include American and German malt, barley malt, wheat malt, and unmalted wheat, and hops, and of course this sake yeast that they include. Wow, it certainly is flowery and fruity. Ripe apples, melons, sweet grapes, maybe even strawberries in here. Wow, there's a lot. Very sweet. It does not smell like any IPA that you probably have had before, that I have had before either. Ooh, it really packs a flowery, fruity sort of nose. Flavor, also we're getting a lot of fruit, apple, peach. I'm getting some strawberries or something quite sweet like a strawberry. Definitely a melon sort of note as well. Bitterness is there, but kind of minimal. Has a kind of metallic quality and mid-palate through to the finish. This is pleasant. If you go to the beer, not beer continuum, this is kind of edging towards not beer, really more like sake. And yeah, that's interesting. Surprised they haven't done this before, because their parent company of Ise Kadoya is a long-established sake maker, so I wonder why they hadn't done it before. But interesting beer, very, very limited. Yeah, I haven't seen it around much at all. I bought it again in Ise. Nice, interesting, unusual, very much a hybrid sake and beer. So it's not really, I wouldn't call it a hazy IPA, but I don't know, some kind of a hybrid. So once again, this is called Ise Kadoya Junbaku Ginjo IPA, 7%, 35 international bittering units. If they make it again, you might find it somewhere. It's a very nice label with printed on washi Japanese paper. Very, very nice. It looks, it might be a souvenir beer in their location, but it's kind of a special one, I think. So give it a go if you happen to see it. And we're going to look at more beers from this brewery, and I do have a playlist of them, so you want to if you want to find out more about some of their beers, you can go on to my playlist of Ise Kadoya beers and take them one by one. All right, well, that's it for today. I hope you will subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment and tell me what you think, if you've had sake beer hybrids before or not. And take care, stay healthy, bye-bye.